I'm probably late to the party, but have you guys heard of this chopped man thing? It basically is this new term that people are using to talk about how men are very, very unattractive nowadays. But the thing that gets me, other than it being mean, is the fact that the women who are commenting on the men's looks, the chopped men's looks, are not good looking by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm not saying any of this to be mean. I'm truly not. But like, some of these girls need to wake up. They're acting as if looks are a currency and they are rich. And Biddy, how about people just be nicer?
A lot of women proudly say I have standards, but what they really mean is I want a man who gives me everything while I give the bare minimum. You want a man who's emotionally mature, financially stable, loyal, masculine, emotionally intelligent, while you can't handle accountability. You don't know how to communicate. You expect him to read your mind. You don't want a partnership. You want a provider, a therapist, a mind reader, all in one man. You demand emotional maturity, but you get defensive the moment you're called out. You want consistency, but chase men who give you anxiety because chaos feels exciting. You say you want a masculine leader, but reject anything that requires you to show up feminine. You call it high standards, but it's really just entitlement. Standards aren't about what you demand from others. Standards are about what you demand from yourself. If you want emotional maturity, heal your triggers. If you want consistency, stop entertaining inconsistency. If you want depth, stop showing up shallow. If you want leadership, be someone worth leading. And that's why you keep getting hurt. Not because good men don't exist, but because you're not the woman your ideal man would choose. Build your standards on your character, not fantasies. Because when you call entitlement empowerment or feminism, it's not confidence, it's delusion.
You know what sucks? Feeling like you'd been lied to your whole life. So I'm now 29, and up until probably last year, I went on the side of being feminist, thinking that a woman don't need no man. And what is it that everyone says now? Adding to the declining population. Even though my whole life I've always wanted to be a mother and have kids, but instead I was sold a lie, did what everyone else was doing, and I partied and I drank and I had casual sex. Now I'm 29 and I really thought when I was a kid, 4 years old, and you're like, when I grow up, I just wanted to be a mum. I'm not saying I can't still do that. I am going to. This whole feminist dream that we got sold, that you should just F around and find out, that you should just sleep around, that you should just party every night, have fun in your 20s, figure it out later. Well, now it's later and really wish I had kids by now. The whole time I wanted them, but it wasn't normal. It's not a normal thing to do. Well, I was told that if you wanted kids and to be a stay-at-home mum or a stay-at-home wife, that's not good enough, that's not progressive enough. You need to be a boss bitch. And I was, and I kind of still am. I've had multiple businesses. I always have enough money in the bank. I've flown business class multiple times to here, there, everywhere. Does any of that matter now? No. You know what makes you rich? Family, kids. And I'm sure this happens to a lot of women my age who have gone down the same path of being a boss bitch, traveling everywhere, meeting all these people. That's all well and good. I had fun a lot of the time, but a lot of the time I didn't, because I felt like I was going against my natural way, why I'm actually here, and forcing myself to do things I didn't want to do because society told me that that was normal. Society has convinced us that it's normal for women to go out binge drinking and having casual sex rather than finding the one, waiting for them, getting married and having kids. We've been convinced that that's the wrong way.
It's funny, the whole chopped men trend accidentally exposes the exact thing men have been saying for years. The loudest critics of men's looks are often the same women who would never survive under the very standards they impose. When average women call average men chopped, it exposes the unrealistic expectations women have for themselves. They tell each other they're beautiful, they have simps in their DMs inflating their egos, random chadrones who pumped and dumped them out of boredom and makeup that leads them to a false perception of beauty. It's no wonder why these women think they're models. What you're seeing now is the outcome of a decade of delusion, dating markets built on entitlement instead of self-awareness. And the irony, The men they mock have already adapted. They've gone to the gym, worked on their money, their value, their status. Meanwhile, the critics are still arguing about a man's jawline from behind a face filter.
Stop it. Get some help.
She's describing what men have been saying for years. Modern women talk about high standards, but they are just demands without real justification behind them. They cannot ask for emotional maturity if they shut down the moment they're challenged. They cannot demand stability when their own life is chaos. They cannot require masculine leadership while refusing to embody anything feminine in return. What women call standards are usually fantasy-based expectations. A man who is a protector, provider, healer, therapist, mind reader, emotional sponge and financial safety net, all while she brings nothing to the table. If modern women want consistency, they have to stop entertaining inconsistent men. If they want depth, they have to stop showing up shallow. If they want loyalty, they have to become the kind of women worth committing to. Women are not struggling because good men don't exist. They're struggling because they still haven't become the types of women their ideal men would actually choose. Modern women focus on themselves instead of trying to appease the types of men they actually want to be with.
They're lost.
She's describing something a lot of women are finally admitting in their late 20s and early 30s, that the just party, sleep around, chase the boss babe dream, you don't need a man narrative sold to them sounded empowering at 21, but feels like a bill coming due at 29. She's not wrong to feel lied to, because that exact script told her to postpone the very things she actually wanted: stability, marriage, motherhood, family. And now she's realizing the feminist promise of freedom quietly translated into a decade of lifestyle habits that push those goals further and further away. What she calls an awakening is really the collision between biology, time, and modern ideology. And the uncomfortable truth is this: wanting a family was never unambitious, it was never regressive, it was never selling out. It was simply human. Now she's seeing what many tried to explain years ago, that career achievements, travel, hookups, and independence can feel exciting for a season, but they don't replace purpose, connection, or a long-term relationship. She wasn't wrong for wanting kids. She was wrong for believing she had unlimited time. And now, looking back, she's realizing the message she rejected, the one she's now repeating, was right all along.
Better late than never.
Poor, deluded females.
When will they ever learn?
Real Men of Genius.